Dr. Titch here. Trust you're doing well. I'm excited to have a few minutes with you. I want to talk to you about 14 reasons why every pastor should publish a book. If you're a pastor, minister, apostle, doctor, prophet, apostle, whatever title you go by, if you're running a church, if you're overseeing a church, or if you're an associate minister in a church, I want to talk to you about 14 reasons why you should publish a book. Now, I know it's a very interesting topic, but I really want to encourage you to consider what I'm saying. I've just had a beautiful time at home doing some coaching and also a bit of writing and reading as well. This is a beautiful pile of most of the books that I've published, my personal books. We've published almost 200 books in our publishing house, Faithland Publishers, of which we founded some 10 years ago. And if you'd love to publish your book, talk to us. But I want to talk to you today from this little slide that I have open here. 14 reasons why you should publish a book. Are you ready for it? But before I go there, let me quote from Dr. Titch. Oh yeah, I'm quoting from Dr. Titch. You see, when you become a published author, we begin to quote you. And this is amongst the giant killers. This was the second book that I published. And there's a chapter in there that talks about 10 characteristics or traits of mighty men. We're talking about how to become one of the mighty men of David, how to become an influencer, how to become a voice in your generation and not an echo. So on page 22, we talk about they take on a challenge. Mighty men take on a challenge. They don't wait for a crowd. They don't wait for consensus. They don't wait for approval from others. They take on a challenge. And yeah, one way to become a giant killer is to get rid of procrastination. And you know how many pastors I've met that are saying, you know, I've got a book. I've written a book. I've got it on my computer. I'm waiting for, I don't know what they're waiting for. They're waiting for all kinds of things to happen. Procrastination. Get your book out now. Anyway, one way to become a giant killer is to get rid of procrastination. This is one of the greatest hindrances to significance. Many people are held back by this enemy called procrastination. We find it difficult to take on a challenge. We would rather wait until the conditions are right and until we have acquired some skill that we deem necessary to make us great and to handle the task at hand. And then it goes on and on and on. To succeed, you must be willing, you should be willing to take on that challenge. And sometimes it looks daunting and you feel unprepared to face the giant and you want to draw back. And, you know, I like that point. I really find it often, not just when it came to writing and publishing books, when it comes to so many things, going into your church fund, church building fund, going into buying new equipment, upgrading your church, doubling your church attendance. All of these are great things that God has laid on your heart, but many times you feel you're not ready for it. You feel it's not yet time. You feel you should wait until the conditions are conducive. But I want to challenge you today. Take a step today and do that which God has called you to do. Start your building fund. Start looking for property. Start planning to grow your church attendance and doubling your church attendance. Take the step now. Stop procrastinating. Take your place among the giant killers. But anyway, let's talk about what we're talking about today. Why you should write and publish your book. Don't procrastinate. If you've already written it, get in touch with us. Let's review. I can review the manuscript for you, give you feedback, give you a whole one-page report on your manuscript and what you need to attend to if there's anything that needs attending. If not, we'll let you know, hey, great book, get it out there, get it to the market, and let people's lives be blessed and transformed. But let's look at the 14 reasons. Write them down if you can, or listen to this several times so that you can keep this in your spirit. Reason number 1, write a book to solve a problem. This one was written to solve a man problem? How do I, as a man, gain confidence so that I can sit amongst the giant killers and sit amongst significant men? Because sometimes as men, we feel intimidated because we feel we haven't accomplished anything or done anything. But I'm challenging you. You can sit among the giant killers. So this one, that's what it's challenging you to. This one is solving a marriage problem, how to be married and loving it. With 54% of marriages ending in divorce, people need help on how to change their marriages. That's what we're solving in this book. This was my very first book, and I wrote this when my life was falling apart. God told me to write this book, and I was writing it for me. It was a book on success. How do I succeed? Success Paradigms 101. Here's another great book. Lessons from my dad. How do I maximize my relationship with my spiritual father? How do I deepen it? How do I learn lessons that will totally change and transform my life and change the trajectory of my life? That's what I was solving in this one. One more. Masters of the economy. When famines come, when financial and economic recessions come in our nations, what do I do? How can I manage myself and break out of the cycle of poverty and going down with everybody else? You become a master of your economy. So you write a book, number one, to solve a problem. Every single one of the 20 books that I've written are solving specific problems. Reason number two, to answer questions that are being asked. People are asking questions. People are asking, how do I have a great marriage? How do I get my finances going? How do I get out of debt? How do I live a victorious life? You write a book to answer questions that are being asked. Then number three, you write a book to meet needs and provide solutions. The how-to, coaching, answers. How do I build a church? How do I buy a property? How do I take my church to the next level? All of these are questions that people are asking. So you're answering questions, you're meeting needs and providing solutions. And you know that to get money, you got to solve some problems, provide some solutions. The bigger the problem you solve, the more the money that comes to you. Number four, to equip and empower others. I have, of all my 20 books, I have over 24,000 copies circulating around the world. Australia, America, Asia, Europe, Africa. Over 24,000 copies of Dr. Tich Tanyanyua books are circulating around the world. And that for me is such a tremendous blessing, because each one of those books is blessing somebody, changing somebody's lives, equipping somebody, giving solutions, answering questions, solving problems. That's what we are all about. And that's what makes this job so exciting. But anyway, let's continue. Number five, you publish a book to amplify your voice. Here's one of the books that has really opened so many doors for me. This book is called The Judeo-Abrahamic Wealth Factor. When I wrote this book totally amplified my voice, because now we have thousands of this book circulating, and that means many people's lives have been impacted by the wisdom in it. But it has amplified my voice. People now call me the pastor who talks about money, the prosperity preacher, all kinds of names. Some of them are derogatory, but some of them are affirmative. So whichever way it goes, I have no issues with that. I'm happy being called a prosperity preacher. It's better than being called a poverty preacher. So anyway, but this has amplified my voice. This book has made a few people millionaires and opened doors to significant levels of income. Some people have become financially free using the principles that are in this book. So it has amplified the voice of Dr. Tich Tanyanyua. Every book you write will amplify your voice. Number six, you will reach new audiences. There are people that have never met me and will never meet me, but they've met my books, they've read my content. Some people send me inboxes and they say, thank you so much. I read your book and it has changed my life, from Trinidad, from Europe, from different places right around the world. One time I was at the airport in Harare, catching a flight, and somebody walks up to me and he says, are you Pastor Tich? And I said, yes. He says, I'm from Australia. And I said, wow, okay. How do you know me? He says, our church, there was a time, a whole year, when we distributed this book as a free gift on our website. Their church downloaded this book on the website and shared it with all their couples. and that's several hundred couples, a church in Australia, and they went through one whole year of doing chapter after chapter. Each month they were doing one chapter from this book. That amplified my voice. There are people that know about Pastor Titch and Pastor Francisca that have never met us, but they went through the course and their marriages are better. They are blessed. Their children are blessed. Their families are blessed, but we will never get to meet those people. You amplify your voice, you reach new audiences, you impact lives. Number 7, you fulfill a dream. I've always had a dream and a desire to write a book. So I actually thought at the beginning I was going to publish one book, but now I'm on 20 and I'm actually writing about 14 or 15 more books at the moment that will be out by December this year. I'm excited about each one of those books. 2 of them are coming out next month, and then the following month another 2. So many books are coming, and books. I love to read. I love to write. I'm addicted to writing. But you don't have to write 20. You just start with 1. You fulfill the dream or the vision to become an author. Number 8, to birth a business. Now, I've lost track in terms of how many millions of rand have come into our lives because of the books, the sales of the books. You do the math. I mentioned that 24,000 books are in circulation. Some of those were given as gifts, as free gifts to different people, etc. But a lot of them were sold, and you can do the math on an annual basis. We only really started to sell a lot of books about 5-6 years ago. Prior to that, it was just a lot of the writing going on, and I didn't know how to really sell books, etc. But when I learned the art of selling books, we began to sell thousands of books, and that translated to greater income. So you birth a business. So in essence, I actually have 20 businesses sitting on my table right here. Each book is a business. For example, this is a book called Married and Loving It. Married and Loving It has I think I'm losing track. I think 14 workbooks, modules that we do that are focusing on marriage recovery, marriage enrichment. So we do seminars, we do retreats, we do events and so on, coaching programs. We're helping couples build their marriages. So that's a business. Out of one book, there is 14 other resources that came out of this book. Well, also going along with another great book that's hidden here. Let's find it. Where is it? The Greatest Sex Life Ever should be somewhere here. Oh, there we go. This and that and that. This is Fight for Your Marriage, The Greatest Sex Life Ever, and Married and Loving It. These 3 books have over 20 modules that we use for seminars, training, and so on. So that's a whole business. We invested 2.5 million last year into making a movie called Married and Loving It. And that movie is going to impact lives, touch lives. It already has, but it's going to touch more lives. But you see, it's a business. So each one of these books is a business. So birth a business by writing and publishing your book. And we actually have a coaching program called How to Birth a Business Through Your Book, how to turn your book into a business, how to make money, how to build your brand. We have a whole package that goes along with that. So Faithland Publishers is your friend to your next level. Anyway, let's continue. To birth a business, create revenue. Number 9, follow a divine instruction. There are many pastors I've met that will tell me, God has given me a prophetic word. He said I must publish a book. He said I must write a book. Do it. Obey. Follow instructions. Do what God said you must do. God is waiting for you, and guess what? The world is waiting for you. What number are we on? Number 10. You publish a book to build your brand, to enhance your brand, to take your brand forward. I no longer give out business cards when I meet pastors, leaders, ministers. Guess what I give them? I give them a book. And when I give you my book, it's got a whole lot of pages in it, and it's got my contact details. Once you've read the book and it impacts you, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get in touch with me. So it's now a way of building your brand. And guess what? When they introduce you and they say, Pastor so-and-so is coming to speak, and he's the published author of this book, Your whole resume shifts. People's reception of you shifts because you're a published author, because people simply believe that somebody who's published a book knows something. Whether you do or not is something else, but they actually believe that this person is serious because they have published a book. So I encourage you, publish a book. Then number 11, to leave a legacy. Now, when I go home to be with the Lord, I'm going to leave Dr. Tich Tanyanyua Foundation as a legacy for my children and my grandchildren. They'll be selling these books for the next 100 years, 200 years if Jesus tarries. These books will still be on sale. These businesses will still be enhanced. They will now be writing version 2, version 3, edition 4, 5, 6, 7 of the same books, taking it further into the future. And that is a powerful legacy that will redefine lives for the future. Number 12, to validate and authenticate your message. Now, when you've written a book, look at this. Let me show you what that means. When I hold these books in my hands, one more, this one too. When I hold these books in my hands, this is 6 books that I've written on the subject of finances. Thousands of pages, over 2,000 pages of writing, and I'm currently writing another book on finance now. Now, this definitely validates when I stand up and I talk that this person knows what they are talking about. I've invested over 19,000 hours of research into these financial books, just studying the Torah, the first 5 books of Moses, particularly the book of Genesis. That validates and authenticates your message. So guess what? You must be ready to go to the next level of your life. Get in touch with us. We'll take you on the journey, and I will share every piece of knowledge that I have with you to help you make yourself a success. In fact, one of the things that we've done is we've turned everything that we do in Faithland Publishing into a course that we call How to Start a Publishing House. So if you want to start a publishing house under your name, under your ministry, get in touch. We will guide you and give you the coaching program on how to start a business as a publisher. Can you imagine? We love to share every piece of knowledge that we have with everybody. Number 12, that's number 13 now, to establish the principles in your spirit. Every book that you write for your audience, yes, but guess what? That writing journey is the most amazing. That's why I'm addicted to writing. The journey of writing a book, publishing a book, studying, researching, putting the content together is a life-changing experience. I can tell you I've had 20 of those life-changing experiences. I'm writing 14 books all at the same time right now. God will take you on an amazing journey where you will establish these principles in your spirit, and it's no longer just head knowledge. You meditate on it until it is established in your spirit, and your life will never be the same. And then number 14, to enrich your study experience. You enrich your study experience. I no longer study in the conventional way of I'm studying to write a sermon. I study to create content. And as I create content, it enriches my experience as the author or as the originator of the content. I want to challenge you. It is your time to move to your next level. Are you a pastor? Are you a minister of the gospel, apostle, prophet, evangelist, founder of a church, pastor in a church? Are you a speaker to an audience? Get in touch. Let's help you publish your book and take your life to the next level. Remember what we said at the beginning? Those that are giant killers don't procrastinate. There's our key point that we're building on. Where is it? Let me find my place in this awesome book. Oops, I think I lost it. Yes, here we go. It says here in the book, they are fearless and courageous. No, they increase in influence. No, that's not the one. There we go. Number 3, they take on a challenge. People are doing all kinds of social media challenges. I want to challenge you. Here's the challenge. Write and publish your book. Amplify your voice, build your brand, become a voice to your generation and not an echo. Become a thought leader, become one whose life redefines their generation, so that by the time you log out, you leave a legacy that's going to be a blessing to the next generation. Thank you so much for connecting with me. This is Dr. Tich Tanyanyua, founder of Faithland Publishers, and I believe we can change your life forever. God bless you.